I'm Stephen Williams from Leon County. We have a cow-calf operation. Family's been here for 100 plus years and still ranching the same place. So we've used Feel Right and Lung Score, the MB1, the Equine Right. We've used the probiotic minerals, and we have used the BioSure Grow Plus B on some hay fields. So my animal health provider recommended it last year, and I started trying a few of the products. I had a little bit of skepticism at first. Not that I didn't believe that it could work. I just hadn't had any prior experience with it before. But after using a few of the products and seeing them work, it really turned me on to it. So we had a round of armyworms come through early last summer, earlier than normal. And as I drove by the hay fields, I saw some brown spots. Of course, as you know, they just go across the field overnight. The next day, we sprayed with the Plus B. The day after that, the brown spots had not grown anymore. 3 days later, the grass was already greening back up, and they were done. And they didn't come back the rest of the year. We didn't have another round of them in the fall. So, it killed what was there, and then didn't have any more trouble the rest of the year. These were hay fields. We use liquid fertilize and have for probably 20 years. And this was the first time trying this product. Normally we would use chemical application to get rid of them. Cost was better than the chemical, and then a much longer residual. We didn't have any trouble when they came back in the fall. Definitely just the plant health being better, just noticeable on the drive-by. Greener, thicker. Normally you'd see some grasshoppers going through there. It took care of those as well, so we didn't have them eating on it like they would normally. So on the Feel Right product, we used it at weaning during processing. It was hot during the summer. Stress was just high from the heat. We gave it with a vaccine to help kind of combat the stress and keep them going forward. Those calves never missed a beat. They didn't back up. The health was good, and they were home-raised calves. They weren't sale-barn calves, but still, it was really hot and dry, and there was going to be some heat stress there. So that's where we used it, and was very happy with the results. We had another set of calves after those that we weaned. It was hot, dry, really dusty. Those calves did get sick, and we ended up using Lung Score on those. We didn't start the Lung Score until after we had to doctor most of them with just regular antibiotics. They didn't seem to be getting over it fully with just the antibiotics, so we mass treated with Lung Score. And I really feel like that was the only thing that pulled them out of it. The antibiotics was doing what it could, but it was just so hot and dusty, they just weren't getting over the hump. They did once we started using Lung Score, they got over it, went back to eating feed, and filled back up and went to looking better. Finally got out of kind of the wreck that started there. I'm gonna say it was probably within days that it was starting to be noticeable, but within a week, it was very noticeable. They were over the hump then. It worked pretty fast. It gets in them and gets going. So on the MB1, we have used it a couple of times now. The first time we tried it, we had a calf that got injured just after birth. Pretty bad injuries, like most people wouldn't have tried to save it, but we wanted to give it a chance if it was gonna try, and it was. So we started applying the MB1 daily, sometimes twice a day, and it probably took a month for it to really get going, but 2 months later, unbelievable in the healing power of it. And the calf, made it. It's healed up. Can't even tell that the majority of the injuries ever even happened. So the other few times we've used it for, some cuts here or there, and I believe we've used it intranasally a time or two. We've just had really good results with it. It's worked just like it's supposed to. Honestly, without the MB1, I don't know if it would have made it. It had such large wounds that were getting infected, and it was such a small calf. It's hard to just keep giving it antibiotics and not just completely burn him up. So I don't know that he would have made it without it, because he was just too little and young to take that much of an antibiotic load to try to keep the infection down. We started using the mineral a couple of months ago. We had a set of yearlings turned out. They were a little bit mismanaged on their feeding, and then they got turned on wheat. There wasn't a whole lot of wheat though, so it got grazed off in about 3 days, and then they went from one extreme to the next and then right back down, and their gut was just all out of whack, and They all had diarrhea and everything was just running through them, and you could just tell that their gut was out of line and they were struggling. We pulled them up, put them on the mineral. We were actually mixing the mineral with a TMR to be sure they were getting the right amount every day. Just slowed them back down. We're making sure that they were getting the right amount per head per day. Within 2 weeks, just unbelievable on the noticeability of the difference in where they were and what they came to. Within a week, they had filled back up and the diarrhea was gone, and you could just tell that their gut was getting straight and they were going back to gaining. Just really a game changer. I don't know that any regular mineral would have turned them around that fast. Definitely the probiotics and the microbes that are in it to get that gut back straightened up and working like it's supposed to. But we used it also on another set of cows that were some high stress cows that had come through the sale barn, and the weather was really bad at the time, cold and rainy. We put those cows on that mineral as well. They were free choice. They ate it really well, they went right to it, and those cows also turned around just right away. I mean, within 2 weeks, looked like a different set of cows. They were full, they were already starting to put weight on and looking better. It's just exceeded my expectations really on the results and how fast we saw the results on how quick they would turn around. On the yearlings that were turned out, there was about 450 of them. I could tell we were in a mess, and we were either gonna have to try to get them all up and drench them with something or go to a lot of trouble labor-wise to try to get these things straightened up. And with the mineral, it just seemed like it would be a lot less labor and trouble to be able to feed it through them and get them going on it that way, rather than stressing them again, running them through the chute and drenching them and all that. So, I hadn't used it before, so I didn't really know if it was gonna work, but I said, well, we'll try it and see, and if it don't, then we'll go to plan B. It worked very well, so we didn't need plan B. Well, I think anytime that we can use products that are from nature and work with nature, it's just a benefit to everything and everyone involved, whether it's the soil, the grass, the animals, us. We're not at the risk of exposure from, the chemicals and what comes with all that. The animals aren't ingesting it. You don't have residues from pesticides and whatnot, or drift, worrying about, it getting on the neighbors or something. So, I definitely think, as far as for everything involved, it's a better way to go. We have used the equine right. We had some horses that we were hauling back and forth and the weather wasn't the best. They got a little respiratory. We gave them the equine right and didn't even use any antibiotic, just the equine right, and cleared them up and straightened them up right away, and no problem. So I really like that. We weren't having to give them shots of antibiotics and worry about the risk that comes with that. We were just able to drench it in their mouth and roll on. With the results that we've had with all the products so far, I don't see any reason that we won't just continue to use it more and more. We haven't had anything yet that hasn't worked as well or better than what we were expecting. So, I think we'll just continually keep using more and more wherever we can.